What happened?
We're live on Facebook.
What are we talking about?
Love languages.
All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk.
Bam! You and your bam. I'm all bammed out.
Well,
I've been bammed. You bam every week. So I've been bamming.
good to see you, Loaf, and look how handsome you look.
Wow, you look great yourself. I like the scarf. I think I might add a scarf in myself.
And hello, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
One of our leaders, wonderful leaders. Brian is online with us. And we hope that when you join us on this, our Talk show tonight about love languages. Can you speak love, Lofi?
That's all I speak.
That was a good answer. That was a good answer. All right. So as our people join us on our leaders and our members, say hi. Hello,
Hi.
Dan.
Hey, Dan. Boy, that guy's name looks familiar.
So, yep, as everybody knows on the show, I got engaged on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I am officially off the market.
You're off the market.
But David's still available.
You're off the mark.
Yeah. But David's still available, girls. I'm sure all the girls will be very happy to hear that. Hello. Thank you.
Janelle says congratulations, Shanti
I've
and
got a
Dan.
problem that I've got itchy eyes, itchy nose, everything's itchy tonight. What the heck is going on? All right. Thank you. Hi, Joe. Happy to see you. Joe's probably the expert in love languages. We are just
Hi, Joe.
two fumbling fools who have experienced a little bit of love, given a little bit of love, been involved in a few relationships, have lived a bit of life, and can share some of our experiences. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the love languages. And do you know, Luffy, have you done your research?
And some regret.
Where did the love languages come from? Who originated all this stuff?
The love languages
Mm-hmm.
came from a guy at a taco stand.
At a taco stand, really?
And he pronounced it love.
Well, actually, it was based on a book written by a New York Times bestseller. His name was Gary Chapman.
Taco, not a taco stand.
You know what? This is going to drive me crazy. I have got something in my eyeball.
Wait, something drives you more crazy than me?
Well,
What?
a little bit, just a little bit more.
I look a little red. Don't you think?
Because you're blushing.
Is that what it is?
Okay, this is going to drive me absolutely crazy. I've got something in my eyeball. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is very annoying. All right, I should give the floor over to David Lofi.
You're giving me the floor? Oh no. And what are you going to do?
I'm just going to try and get this thing out of my eye. I've got something in my eye. All right.
What are they? Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch.
Oh, gee, you're not reading, are you? I can see your eyeballs are darting.
I'm not reading.
You should
Those
know
are off the top of my head.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll teach. Let's just start. We don't normally start with the. Oh dear, where is this? I have a slideshow to share tonight. Do you know this?
Is that why you told me no PowerPoint? Because you wanted to do one?
I want to do a PowerPoint tonight since Mr. PowerPoint.
Right.
Mr. PowerPoint. All right.
Is
So
it funny?
Let's see if this thing works. Let's go share. And we're going to go here. And we're going to say share. And here we are. Play. Do you see that?
I see it. Love
That's
languages.
Purdy.
Very pretty.
Purdy, purdy. All
Mhm.
right. So
Oh, I like
people,
the
if you
bottom.
see, we're not going to be reading out from those of you who give feedback, but do say hi. Just say hi to us, and we will catch up in a little while. There are our visages, and we are going to be talking tonight about love languages, because you know what? The truth is, we all need love. Remember the song, All We Need Is Love, George Harrison? The need to feel loved is a primary human need. In fact, now here's an interesting thing. When I had my first child, Candace, she was born 8 weeks prem, and she was a little lightweight, and they took her away from me the moment she was born, and they put her into an incubator. In those days, they believed that the spread of germs was a real thing. So you had to put your hands into these rubber gloves, and you couldn't touch your baby. And today they're actually learning that what they call is kangaroo care, that the more premature a baby is, if they're skin against skin and they're actually being held very close to you, their chances of survival increase radically. So we do need physical touch. Then scientists did this really cool experiment, is they took newborn baby monkeys, separated the monkeys from the mama, and gave the babies food and everything else, but no touch. What do you think happened to the babies?
They had ailments.
Well, they actually died.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was pitiful. They cried and cried, wanting to touch and to have touch and to be stroked,
Sure.
and to be cared for. But just being fed through a nasal tube wasn't enough, and the baby monkeys actually died. So we do need love. But love, is it the chemistry of falling in love? Now, I could go a lot into this. We're going to go into the brain science of falling in love a little way down. But we do know that there is such a thing as chemistry and chemical attraction. And we do know that this affects things in the brain, and we have things going on like dopamine and oxytocin, and all sorts of interesting hormones are released when there is attraction. And the physical body is attracted to somebody that it believes will be a good mate in terms of your DNA connection, right? What is going to be the best mate for me to produce the best offspring? That's what we're attracted to. But unfortunately, that doesn't last. So that wonderful in-lust feeling that we have in the beginning does not last, right? You're aware of that. So what happens after that, Love?
What happens after lust?
Yeah, well, after all that wonderful falling in
I'm
love,
not sure I could talk about that on here.
and this is the lovely expression, but you don't know what this is called, when limerence is over. I love the word limerence. It's the glow of love that you feel in the beginning, all the chemistry that happens in the very beginning. And they say it takes about a year and a half for that feeling to wear off.
Is that like another way to say the lust?
Well, it is not just lust, but there's actually a chemical reaction. You may lose weight, you glow, you feel really good, all the little butterflies in your tummy, all that kind of stuff. So that about a year and a half down the line, that wears off. And then what happens?
You gain weight?
Are you going to start just tolerating the other person, but bitch and moan about that person? Are you going to jump ship and continue the search for the perfect mate? Because suddenly this person, you've noticed they don't put the toilet roll on right.
I hate that.
I know. What other things do they do that irritate you, Love?
They don't put their freaking dishes in the dishwasher.
I know. So when those things come to play, or when you wake up and that person has a smelly breath and they're not quite the person you envisaged in your romantic mind, these are some choices you can make. Or you could recognize that the in-love experience is what it was, and make a choice to work on the relationship to develop real and long-lasting love, which is not necessarily feeling all the stuff, the butterflies, but
Look at that.
So you know what real love is? It's a decision to commit to the other person. It's a decision. You don't necessarily feel like that because, as I say, you don't feel like you're in love every day. You choose fidelity and faithfulness if that's your choice, which it is for me. I would never be able to be with somebody who believes in sister wives or polygamy or anything like that. I want one man. It's enough for me. That's all I want. Okay. And you decide, oh, I left a sea heart in here. That's C for Shanti. Decide to stick with it and overcome all challenges together. Isn't that a choice? You're going to go through, for richer, for poorer, sickness and in health and all that good stuff. Open communication. Right? Loki, isn't that important that we...
Open communication is pretty damn important. It helps you to understand what the other person's thinking until we develop in our next stages of evolution.
Telepathy.
Telepathy, right?
You know what is interesting, Loaf, is that you and I have known each other for long enough and spent so much time together. We actually literally read each other's minds. That is, I mean, this is a very dear friendship, and we do. I find it absolutely.
Very weird.
It is very weird. We read each other.
Very weird.
It's just bizarre. We could give you so many examples. But anyway, the next thing is to take daily actions to fill the other's love tank. And this is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So here we are. Look at that. A love tank. How do we fill that love tank?
tank?
Oh, there we go. We each have a love tank, and there's partner A and partner B. We fill it with positive experiences like emotional support, understanding, affection, reassurance, together time. And left out, very important one. What is it? You mentioned today. What fills your love tank?
What fills my love tank? Mine is touch. But
You actually said sex, but
well, I was kidding around, but I was kidding at that point. I told you it's touch. I always say the most crude thing at first. I have to. I'm a
okay.
guy.
You run Talk with Shanti Niven and David Lurphy. And tonight we're talking about love languages and filling the love tank, the old love tank. David Lurphy's love tank is filled like most men.
Well, I used to say I had a little belly. I used to say it was my fuel tank.
Yeah, with your fuel tank.
My sex fuel tank. Daniel Lofi says he can't say he came down with a cold because he pooped in to say hi.
He didn't poop. What are you talking about? He just popped in to say hi.
All right, he
Oh,
popped.
you know,
I wanted to say
Oh,
pooped.
Daniel's my favorite brother, yours, and he's
Not feeling well.
okay.
I hope he gets better because he was sick last week too.
Fill the love tank, right? And then our love tanks get drained by the negative experiences, unnoticed efforts. You do something for your partner, they don't notice and they don't care, right? Personal attacks. Somebody attacks you, bitches at you, complains, withdraws from you, ignores you. That conflict, broken trust, very big one. Lack of affection. These are the things that drain your love tank. Take it from full to empty. So if you can imagine yourself having that love tank, we all need to fill up the love tank, right?
Right.
Okay. So what are the 5 love languages? 1 is words of affirmation. 2, quality time together. 3, gift giving. 4, acts of service. And 5, physical touch, which is one of yours.
Mm-hmm.
So
Number 5.
What are your primary love languages? Would you like to guess? What are your primary love languages?
What are my personal primary love languages? Oh,
These 2.
because I'm number 5.
You said physical touch. Is there another one? Like words of affirmation, gift giving?
Oh, well, all of those fall into, if I
All of
had
them. We all need all of those, but which are
Yeah.
your ones? The big 2?
the big 2, I do like words of affirmation and touch. Yeah, I would say those would be
So you and I similar. I also
and tacos.
So what does tacos fit into?
I don't even like tacos that much. I mean, I like them, but come on.
So here we go. How do you know what your primary ones are? We'll recall the most painful moments and what caused them. So if, for example, in my first marriage, reached over to cuddle my husband and he went, "Oh, I'm too hot." That literally felt like my heart was breaking in two.
Right? Doesn't that hurt?
Breaking into it. It hurts so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had somebody do that to me.
Oh, it's horrible. What have you requested most from your spouse? What are the things that you want most from your spouse that you've asked for?
Oh, what do I want most? I want equality from my spouse. I'm willing definitely to be equals.
What would make you feel Lofi?
Commitment to our whole relationship and as far as equality, and the fact that I'm putting in, that person's putting in, and we're making a plan together. That's a long-term plan,
Then how do you express your love to the one that you love? How do you find yourself most expressing? Do you buy her gifts? Do you write her poetry? Do you give her lots of affection and love?
I could do all of this. I've done all this in the past. Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the 5 love languages. Words of affirmation. How would you express?
This is my questionnaire, Dave's questionnaire.
How would you express? Where do you think words of affirmation are? What is it?
Words of affirmation. Oh, what is it? Words of affirmation. Words that you share with somebody, to your commitment to the relationship, your commitment to which helps bond the commitment to the relationship in the words of affirmation. Affirmations of I love you would be a simple one, but they could be other words just as well. So did you end your PowerPoint?
Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to us because we're going to go over those love languages and we're going to talk about how you can express those love languages. Do you notice that Brian Liggett says that his love languages, read them out.
Physical touch, quality time, Laura Regnicoli. What?
Regnicoli, what?
Respect. Oh, it's the lines crossed over. You guys don't see it that way. Oh, he had another one. Words of affirmation. Jonelle O'Sullivan sandwiches.
Okay, so here are some of the words of affirmation is compliments, complimenting and noticing their appearance. So even just down to, to a woman, noticing that she's wearing different earrings or that she's changed her hairstyle. So many women complain that they could change their whole hairstyle, have their hair dyed, change the cut, the style, put on a new outfit, and the husband doesn't even notice. So very important to notice how your wife looks or your husband looks and notice any changes. Providing words of encouragement like, you can do it, I believe in you, you got this. Words of kindness. And appreciation, showing appreciation for anything that they have done. It doesn't mean giving fake flattery, right?
I think a simple thank you could be.
Oh, yes. Just noticing, hey, honey, you fixed the sprinkler system. What an amazing job you did. I'm so lucky to have a man who can do stuff like that, right?
Oh, I thought you said she did it. I was like, thanks. One less honeydew I got to do around the house.
Well, that was one of the things that you do everything because you had somebody who didn't really, do a lot. You had to do a
Well,
lot.
they wouldn't. Yeah, they just be like, okay, I'll do it. It's got to get done. No, I can screw it. I'll do it. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, I did it before we were married 17 or together 17 years earlier. What's the difference doing it towards the end of the marriage?
Advice when you get into a relationship is learn to also receive. Because I've noticed even, you've come out and spent time with me. Like we're literally fighting as to who gets to do what.
Right.
You're so independent. It's like, damn it, let me do something for you because I love giving.
And I'm like, get out of the kitchen. I'm cooking here.
Yeah, you get out of the kitchen. We're having a fight in the kitchen because we both want to do something. Okay, so the words of affirmation should create intimacy, trust, right? Bring out your partner's full potential and heal their wounds. Would you agree on that?
I think so. Yeah. That's the whole part of being in the relationship. And that's with anybody and any relationship. I don't think that when somebody's hurting, it's not right to sit there and, really bang on their wounds and open those scars anymore. It's better to give them some, depending on what it is, some type of hope in it or some type of, I think we talked about death and divorce and things like the hard ones. Right. That really became, you don't really want to give too much advice or say, hey, I know how you feel. You really just want to go, I know. I see. You really want to go, I'm here for you in situations like that. But other ones, I think that you can give a little bit of positiveness because at that point where that person is, you don't know where they're at. And I've been cut back on somebody who was going through a divorce and I told them, I know how you feel. And he said, how do you know how I feel? Right? I'm like, okay. Which understandable. Wasn't, I was a little hurt by them coming back to me. But you are on Talk with David Lofi and Shanti Niven. Catch us on YouTube, subscribe, like, share, and invite your friends to our group. We're trying to get
if you're listening in, please hit the like button or the love button or the laughy button or the something. Let us know that you're here.
Yeah, and also wait. Let me finish. Okay. It says, it's like my time. But we're trying to get our numbers up, and YouTube viewership, for one, it's going to help us organically grow. The more views, if you just go view it, even if you go view it for 5 minutes, it actually gives us a view, which allows us to go up organically in the search for people searches on YouTube. We've had people who said they can't find us, and spent some time researching into that. And some of it is there's a lot of things called Talk, but we're
People talking.
Real Talk, and if you do it in one string of words, Real Talk, one word, you can find it. But we're still not always at the top. So that was my little plug for give us a hand,
Yeah, help us out.
give us a high five, a bump.
Okay, getting back to what we're talking about. The next thing is quality time. What does quality time look like for you, David? If somebody should spend quality time with you, is it just being in the living room watching TV? Is that quality time for you?
It can be. Now that became, in my relationship with my ex, it became a matter of our quality time because she liked to watch TV. I'm not a big, I mean, when I was a kid, I watched TV a lot, like all day. But as I grew older, I realized the things that took away from other things. Everything's got a trade-off. In TV or video games or anything like that, there's the trade-off. She liked to do that. She always picked out the shows. I just said the ones I liked. We'd watch those. She would like this too. I wouldn't even know it was on unless she said something. I don't know what's on now. Unless somebody tells me, somebody else turns on my TV. Somebody comes over and goes, hey, let's watch something. I'm like, okay, let's turn on the TV. And it, so my TVs are never on. And
well, quality time to me, look, being together, watching something on Netflix, cuddled up together on the
Sure.
couch.
Mm-hmm.
You make some hot cocoa and you just spend time together snuggled up is quality time. But also it's important to spend quality together time with your undivided attention, where you're actually looking into each other's eyes, maybe across from a dinner table, you've gone out for dinner, and you talk and you share quality undivided attention. That means your eyeballs upon eyeballs. I don't want to knock anybody down, but an ex, we used to go for dinner and he was so busy checking out the waitress's legs that I was like, I would just get infuriated. And I'm not a jealous person at all, but I give real attention. So if I'm with anybody, not just my mate, I give them that attention. I look at them. Some people actually say my eye contact is a little too strong, especially for somebody on the spectrum who is not comfortable with that strong eye contact. But I really look at a person. You
talk about me?
I'm not necessarily talking about you.
All right.
So, but I really look at somebody, and for some people it might be disturbing because they're not used to it. They're used to social media and all that other kind of stuff. I look at them, I pay attention, I'm very present. I notice everything about them. I notice what they're saying. I truly am present with them. So that's what I mean by quality time. What other ideas could you have for quality time?
Oh, for me? Well, Dan Peterson says it involves food. I guess that's a possibility. I think food, or I don't necessarily think that
strawberry, chocolate covered strawberries or whatever.
Not chocolate, strawberries and chips and dip. No. I
don't know if food actually does involve quality time. Is really giving time to the other person. Food, right. Acts of service. So if he's spoiled, he gets meals every time he comes over. I go to town making him fresh food. That's acts of service.
Yeah, I think that quality time is relational to where that relationship, whatever it is, can find where that is. And like I said, that time was TV for us. And maybe in the midst of it, we might talk, or we talk other times. But that would be somewhere where on certain nights, pretty much every night, she had a full lineup shows. So... But but I think it just depends on the group and how I will do. It doesn't matter to me.
Personally,
as long as we're spending some time together.
I don't think just watching TV is quality time together, unless you spend some time afterwards discussing the show or whatever it is. One of my exes, again, used to watch a lot of television, and I would actually spend time on my computer because unless something's really gripping on TV or there's a movie that I'm watching, I'm not a TV person. So I much prefer something that I can interact with. So I'd be writing and he'd get irritated with me doing something different to him. At least I was spending time in his presence, right?
You know that most of these shows aren't real, right? I mean, even the ones that are called real TV aren't real.
Reality TV. No, they're
I'm
not.
just letting it, yeah, reality TV. So I think, what are you going to talk about? Did you see how they did that? I don't think talking about the shows necessarily, like, maybe, you know, oh, I can't believe that part where they did that one thing, or
Well, let me give you an idea of, if you, I was married to somebody who was in the movie business, so you would go in a lot into how something was made, the special effects. Dan and I we've been watching the Outlander. And so I wanted to know, there's so much chemistry between the two main stars. You kind of wondered, are they together in real life? Was there something going on between them? Then I looked them up, find out that Jamie, the main star, I think he's 6'4". He's a big dude. She's 5'10". So they're really big people in comparison to the average actor in Hollywood. So it's just interesting to find out a little bit of background. They are genuine Scots people, that they filmed it on location at genuine places. So I like to know a little bit. That's just me. I like to research, and so that's the fun part for me, not just watching.
like the 1500s.
They're actually using. I mean, there's buildings up in Scotland and in England that are still there. Yeah, and dungeons and what have you. Okay, next one we're going to move on is gift giving. Now, it's a big one for women, because a lot of women do actually love. There's been for centuries, from the beginning of time, gift giving has been a way of showing love, whether it be flowers or jewelry. Well, there's so many women that believe that jewelry is a very important thing for a man to give. I mean, other than the engagement ring. Look how beautiful this engagement ring is. But women do like to get earrings and adornments. And you know what is really funny? I don't think you realize this, David, but a lot of time the gift giving for women is not to do with what they want, but it's what to do with how they show off to other women. That's what he got. Yeah. It's like, because all the women want to know. And
I like your earrings. Where did you get them? Oh, my boyfriend got them for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they're nice. Yeah, he really picked out a really good thing, but
I know. And then, you know, how expensive these things are, because this is the value of his love for me.
Yeah.
That's how a woman.
This is a 20-carat diamond.
But now, how do dudes feel about gifts? Do you enjoy gifts?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't really necessarily, I mean, so I had somebody that I was dating, and I was kind of like, you know, I'm not really looking for like relationship. I mean, kind of dating, not really dating. We were kind of like hanging out. And I went over there one day, and they're like, hey, come on over for dinner. We'll watch this show, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was the new Star Trek with, what was it, Blackula? What's his name? It was, I don't know. Anyways, so I went over there, and they had bought me like a jacket, some pants, and a sweater. And I was kind of like, whoa, wait here. That's a little bit, I thought we had an agreement. And they were like, what? I just bought you some clothes. It started a big old fight. I did, of course.
Maybe that was a hint. Didn't like.
Well, I thought it was a hint, or maybe I'm a bad dresser. It was either I'm a bad dresser or it's a hint that, hey, we're
threads and the stripes.
Yeah, but I was quite, you know, satisfied, I think, with not kind of moving forward to anything, as you know, maybe, but it's kind of like early. I don't know.
Well, in case you're wondering, we're on Talk, real Talk with Shanti Niven and David Lofi over there.
I'm hearts tonight.
He's hearts, okay. And I'll be likes. Give me a like. If you want to make me feel good, give me a like. If you want to make him feel good, give him a heart. And yes, if you're watching us by way of YouTube, please subscribe and like. If you're not watching us by way of YouTube, hey, talkers, get your butts over to YouTube. We have put a link up on our group page. Go to YouTube and just subscribe, man. Give us a break here. We're trying to get this channel going, right? Okay, we've got some comments there that you can read off,
I
Lofi.
saw Marty Richardson. Every man here will agree with me. Women have the look. When you get it, you just dive for cover.
What would that look be, Marty?
Yeah, right. Laura Rignacoli says, "I prefer
Renya
a bouquet."
Will you please get the name right? Renyakoli.
That's what I said.
You didn't, you said Regnakoli.
Because I
Renyakoli.
said it in an American accent doesn't mean I didn't say that.
Renyakoli. I'll ring your neck in a minute.
Rignacoli. I'm gonna call Laura R. Anyways, Laura R says, "I prefer a bouquet of electronic stuffs." Is that like a digital bouquet?
That's a good one.
Picture of roses,
A
pictures
picture
of
of
carnations.
Laffy, that's not going to work. All right. So gift giving, okay, just to go into this, it could be flowers and chocolates. It could be jewelry. Women seem to like jewelry. But I think there could be purchased or made. I think for me, it's always about the thought that goes into it. So if there is some thought, it doesn't have to be an expensive thing. It's just you put some thought into it. And I've been very, very spoiled. So I can say nothing. And yeah, Janelle says she
Yes.
loves my ring. It is so beautiful. It really is. More beautiful than what it looks like in photos.
Yeah, you're definitely a spoiled brat.
I know.
Fun, add it in there.
Acts of service. This includes doing the things your partner would like you to do, like cooking or cleaning, setting the table, doing the dishes, mowing the lawn, ironing, taking out the garbage, boys. And when you take out the garbage, put a new bag in the garbage can.
Didn't you ask me that a week ago or so? Like what, you asked me something like that about the garbage can. When you take out the garbage, who puts the bag in? And I go, well, I normally do. I didn't really, or
Yeah,
somebody may grab a bag and put it in there.
What you should say is that response my father used to say, because he used to call my grandmother the old bag. I mean, when we were at the airport, once some porter said, "Would you like me to carry your bag?" And he said, "No, she can walk by herself." So, okay. Janelle says, she says we're both good dresses. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm late, but I'm here. Hi, Shanti David. Audra, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not, whoever said that's not very
I've
nice.
told you my look is very scary. No, what she is saying, David, is that when she gives the look,
Oh.
that's what she was talking about, the look, she knows how to be very scary. Do you know what the problem is? I cannot be taken seriously. Dan's going to have to say that I'm not a person who can. Dan, is it, do you get scared if I give the look?
I took that totally.
Oh, I love you too, Laura.
Like, oh, that's terrible. Why would somebody say that?
The over glasses look. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Do I have glasses?
Is this it, Marty?
Oh, I have these.
All right. Oh, for heaven's sake. David couldn't look threatening if he tried. David, look angry.
Do what? What?
Give me a pissed off look.
You want to see my pissed off look?
Yeah. Such a thing as funny. Okay. All right. Does not make me scared at all. So when you do acts of service, for example, you know, one thing I really love is if a man makes a bed. That's a turn on. Have you ever heard the clean sheet rule, by the way? I want to just know if it's okay. I'm not going to tell you what it is then.
What's the clean sheet rule?
Have you noticed how tired my eyes look? Look.
You don't have clean sheets?
No, look how tired my eyes look. No, it's got nothing to do with my sheets. You're full of sheets.
What's a clean sheet rule?
Dan says your look. I said, okay, I think something's gone wrong there. Dan, you have to repeat what you just said. Your look. My look is a smile. I give a smile apparently when I'm pissed off.
Oh, that's probably what he's saying. Yeah. We got a few things here.
Hi.
Tell me this sheet rule. I'm tired of your sheet. Tell me the sheet rule.
The sheet rule is that when you put new sheets on, apparently you have to make love on them. Which means you're doing an awful lot of cleaning of sheets.
I wash my sheets about every week. I even have exchange sheets.
Mine would be, never mind. Okay.
2 girls sleep with me.
I know, they're both bitches.
They're a couple
So
bitches.
Janelle says David needs to practice wearing a kilt. I agree. I would like David to take a photograph of himself in a kilt for all the girls on Talk.
I did. I posted it.
No, you did not. Now, I will tell you this. Dan looks hot in a kilt. He's got a good pair of legs. He just needs a tan. But David
My
Lofi,
legs
I've
are
never
scarred.
seen his legs, so I don't know. I've never seen your legs. Do you know that? Never.
And you may never.
Would you be willing to wear would you be willing to wear a kilt, David? Because they all want to know, and then they all want to know what's under the kilt.
A man dress?
It's not a man dress.
What do they call a bag that a man wears? A satchel. It's actually a man purse. Mary Kiefert says, hi, just something small is thoughtful as long as the man's thought of you personally, right? It doesn't have to be a cost of a lot either. And I would agree with that. It doesn't have to cost a lot for a lot of, I mean, I don't know about for women. I mean, I've given a woman a leaf, you know, and she loved the little leaf. Or a little flower. David needs to practice wearing a kilt. We've already talked about that, Janelle. This will not happen.
If you want to be giving me away at my wedding, you are going to have to get into a kilt. All right.
Okay, I'll put the dress on over my pants.
Now, one thing we need to stay away when it comes to love languages is we need to stay away from stereotypes. We need to stay away from what our parents did. That's one of the biggest things, the expectations, because this is what my dad did. This is what my mom did. You know, my first husband's mother basically did everything. She was the household slave, but she didn't work. So, you know, putting that expectation then on the wife who is working, and in my case was the breadwinner, it's kind of tough, you know. But I did learn to cook. My mother-in-law is Italian, and she taught me some awesome cooking.
Did you ever tell your duck story?
Not duck. It's not a duck. It's this.
No, the duck that you made.
Oh, the duck that I made and painted.
No.
I was
The
going to tell
duck
the joke
that you
of the,
cleaned to cook.
the duck à l'orange that turned into, yes. I'll tell that joke in a second. You see, you just have to, you want to embarrass me. What I'm,
Easily.
this is my joke. Hello. So this is a story about a wide-mouthed frog.
About a lovely lady.
So the wide-mouthed frog goes hopping through the woods. I don't even tell you, it's funny, but the facial expression is, I told this to my second husband straight after we had been very romantic, and he just cracked up. He thought it was very funny. So it goes like this. The little wide-mouthed frog is hopping through the woods, and it comes across a lion. It is a maze, and it goes up to the lion, and it goes, hello, I'm a wide-mouthed frog. What are you? And the lion says, I am the king of the jungle. Oh, that's nice. And he goes, boing, boingity, boingity, boing. And he comes across something even more amazing, tall, feeding on the top of the highest trees. And he goes, hi, I'm a frog. What are you? I mean, you've got to admire me for being brave telling this joke. And the giraffe looks down and says, I'm a giraffe. I am the tallest creature in all of the jungle. He goes, well, that's nice. Anyway, he goes through a whole lot of animals. I'm not going to go through all of them because I've had enough stretching out.
Preferably.
Until he gets to the banks of the river. And there he sees the most ferocious of all the creatures with a long jaw and very big jagged teeth. And the wide-mouthed frog goes, hello, I'm a wide-mouthed frog. What are you? And the creature says, I am a crocodile, and I eat wide-mouthed frogs. And he goes, oh, really?
Is that right? All right, that's a cute story.
You see, I'll stretch my hands. Oh, no. Okay.
Mary Kiefert says, I think if he fills my gas tank, that would be a nice gift.
Oh my God. I want to tell you, men who do things for you, pick up heavy things for you, make you feel feminine.
Just the gas tank?
No.
If
David Lofi.
Cleaned.
David Lofi Esquire.
You are on Talk with Naughty Niven and David Lofi.
What do you we're going to call you? Loopy Loafy. I don't know what we're going to call you.
Meatloaf.
Meat.
What? I don't know. It's a nickname I got somewhere. So, so subscribe, like, and share on our YouTube channel. Catch us on Facebook Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and invite your friends because we're having a good time in the pages.
Yeah, and the more the merrier.
Good stuff. The more the merrier. I saw a post earlier today. It was pretty good. Well, I think it was posted yesterday, but are you looking at me? What did I do?
Sorry, what? Sorry, what were we saying?
Oh, look at that. Oops. I was going to see if I could find it.
Oh, well, clearly you didn't. While you're looking, I'll tell you what, how about you look? I'll tell the story of my duck à l'orange disaster. So here's how it goes. Newly married, I had no idea how to cook. I'd never been taught. I didn't even know how to boil a freaking egg. Nothing. I was terrible. By the way, I'm a superb cook right now. I learned from the best. But early days of marriage, I nearly poisoned my poor husband. I did. I made the most revolting concoctions. The poor man he had to eat what I made him. But the very worst that I have never been allowed to forget was I decide I'm going to have people over for dinner and I'm going to make, not a simple thing, no, I'm going to make duck à l'orange. I think, how difficult can it be? I'll just go by the recipe. And I bought a duck, and the first thing in the recipe said, this was the fatal mistake, is clean the duck well. How do you clean a duck? I had no idea. So I used detergents, and then I left it soaking in Savlon. Now, Savlon is a disinfectant, by the way. I don't think you guys have an equivalent. It's orange, and it's what you use to clean wounds, right? So if you have a wound, you put cotton wool in the Savlon and you clean the wound with it. It's very strong antiseptic smell. But I'm thinking, if I'm going to clean the duck, I'm going to do a damn good job of this. So I scrubbed it out with detergents and soap. Now I've left it soaking in the Savlon.
Put some bleach in there.
Right. And then I rinse it off under the tap later on, and I go through the whole process of making duck à l'orange. And my father actually took the first bite, kind of did this. And he said, what the hell have you put in here? Burst into tears, and tears are coming down my face. Nobody would eat my duck à l'orange. And when my mother said, well, Shanti, I said, I followed the recipe. She said, tell me exactly what you did. And when I told her I'd soaked it in Savlon, she about bust up laughing. Well, nobody would eat my duck. And I later on found out that cleaning doesn't mean cleaning with disinfectant. So
Don't do that. That does not sound good at all.
I sanitized the duck, Audra. Seriously, I did. It would be like soaking it in Clorox.
Right, I would not.
Obviously, I thought this duck was filthy, like filthy.
That's terrible.
I was just so, bear in mind, I was married so young. I knew nothing about cooking. It was just clueless. So.
She sanitized it. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I have a story. I think I may have told a story. What I was looking at was
Forgotten, Loaf. Our favorite love language, the fifth love language, was physical touch. We didn't even talk about that. What does it include? For physical touch is not just sex, and which is a wonderful part of a relationship. It's very enjoyable, but it's also about hugging, stroking, caressing, tickling, massaging. What's this?
I'm touching myself.
Well, I suppose nobody else is doing it. Okay, so physical touch is really important. Now, there's somebody, I have to mention this because there's somebody on our site, I hope he's watching. If not, I'm going to point him onto it, who was talking about being married for a long, long time. And he said he is very affectionate, craves physical affection, but his wife doesn't like it, wasn't raised that way, doesn't like physical affection. And it really obviously hurts him, but he is committed to the marriage. And I thought to myself, well, how selfish of this person. And I will tell you, my first marriage with my husband, he wasn't very affectionate either, and it really hurt me. But years later, he actually apologized to me and he said, I was so young and immature and I was stupid and I didn't meet your needs. What does it cost you, folks? And I'm saying this in front of the camera. If your partner's affectionate or your partner has a certain love language, what does it cost you to give a little bit? Why is it always about you? And I'm saying, if I'm speaking to you and this is the way that you feel, you know what, it's time that you got over your selfishness and thinking about how that person's meeting your needs, and think about how you can meet their needs. Because, you know, when you do that, when you really take care of that person, and I know that Dan will say this because he always says he's had 2 wives, and I believe in giving. I really do. But I think that when you give and you meet that person's love languages, they in turn meet yours, right? And so it doesn't cost you, to the wife of this person, it doesn't cost you to give him a hug. And the saddest thing was when he said, I would do anything for a hug. A hug, for God's sake. Sorry, I didn't mean to blaspheme, but a hug. Put your arms around this person and hold them. What are you doing?
You spin on the screen when you said hug. Trying to help out.
Hugs, especially from behind. I agree. But you know what? Being kissed, for women, being kissed on the neck, I love that. Kissed on the neck or the shoulders, very sensitive parts of the body for the woman. By the way, men, let me give you some lessons. Kissing on the wrist, very romantic. On the palm of the hand. Lofi, do you want to send all the girls into a delirium? Forehead kisses, and when you're sleeping, having your eyelids kissed, having your forehead stroked and hair brushed away from your ears. These are all just the value of touch. Holding. David Lofi, would you stop distracting everybody? He desperately needs some loving. Oh my gosh.
I'm just seeing how all this works.
Now, I will say this. There are some, I did a survey a while back on the group, and some people cannot stand tickling. So if you are one of those people who can't stand tickling, you need to let your partner know. If any kind of scratching, I used to have for a while a bit of problem with anybody scratching, you know, just scratching. But the worst thing for me is repetitive, aimless movement. There's no feeling in it. It's not caressing. It's not sensual. If you just kind of, you know, doing repetitive movement, it can get annoying after a while. So make sure that your touch is meaningful, that it's expressing love, that you know what that person likes. And Lofi, how do you know if a person likes the touch? How do you know?
Well, they give you a response back. It's either negative or positive.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Usually that's the stem. Anyways,
Gosh, okay. Is this a Sally meets Harry? Well,
I already know what you're saying. No, I think that yeah, she was eating in the restaurant.
okay, we don't need to go into detail.
I'll have what she's having. No, in that, you made me forget everything I was talking about, or was it going to be?
Also, yes.
Talking about.
She said it costs too much because I've done begging. If someone loves you, really loves you, you don't need to beg. I tell you what you need to do is you need to get them to watch the show. Because you know what? I agree. If you have to beg somebody.
On our YouTube channel.
Yeah, or the YouTube channel. If you have to beg somebody to fill your love tank, there's a problem there. Your job is to fill your partner's love tank. It is. Find out what it is that they need in order to fill that tank, and fill that tank, because when they're coming from a full tank place, they're able to fill your needs too. But
Right.
it shouldn't be about how you.
Well, that's a two-way street too.
Right.
I think that a lot of people
Yeah.
tend to think you should be. But the question is, are you? You know, so
Well, I'm saying this to the people watching because that's what I'm saying. You know, is you need to be thinking about you, and I'm thinking about me. How you give. You shouldn't be thinking, gimme, gimme, gimme. My name is Jimmy. What are you doing for me? Which is the way of the world these days. And we're on Talk with Shanti Niven and David Lofi. Give him a heart and give me a like. If you want to make me smile, and since it's in my engagement week, give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Give David a heart if you really have to, or give us both a laughy face. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and like. Or if you're not watching on YouTube, go to YouTube. Please subscribe, like, and watch us again. We need some support on the YouTube side. And
Just a little view.
Janelle says, behave, David. She says, not.
Am I being bad?
I think he's a bit frisky. I was going to say another word, but I won't.
Dirty Dave.
There we go. Dirty Dave and Naughty Nevin. Okay.
Dancing Dave.
Dancing Dave. All right. Okay. So physical acts is not just sex. It's not just, it's all sorts of affection, and everybody needs
Touch. Sitting next to somebody, giving somebody a hug.
holding hands, massage. Now,
Holding hands.
what do you think? And if Joe Whitcomb is still listening, why do some people, why are they repelled by touch? Why do they not want to be held? I remember my first husband didn't, he just didn't want to have, he didn't want to be in an embrace. What would stop somebody from wanting to be, what sort of messed up shit would cause that? I know I've raised all 3 of my kids to be love bugs. Can I share a little story, David? I know you need to talk. My son, when he was little, my 2 daughters used to give him hug rations. They gave him 10 hugs a day each because he was so huggy, and he used to drive them crazy wanting hugs all the time. One morning I was in my office, and I swear I was on the phone. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I heard Candace say to David, David, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and you've already been through your hug rations for the day. But I hope in a relationship you don't ration your hugs, right, David?
3 a day.
What? 3 a day? You got to be kidding.
We'll keep the love away. So you got to do 4.
Right. Okay. Forgive me all tonight. I'm a little tired. I've been
Love. Tired of what?
tired of you.
Listen to my.
I just, you know what? I was doing a lot of driving, and then I had my window open, and that's why I had the dust or something in my eyes. My eyes are.
Or a bug. Get some bug crawling around in your eye. Get out of there.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. Now, what I thought would be fun, we've only got 7 minutes left, is I went today for my biometrics test, which means they were checking that I'm not a criminal in order to let me into the country. And I thought I'm going to pop
What did they find out?
that I am completely clean.
You're not a criminal?
Check out the little halo above my head. So I thought I would ask some questions in the civics test to David Lofi or our American
Is
viewers.
that right? Okay. Go ahead.
So let's see if you could answer this. What is the supreme law of the land known as? The
Constitution.
correct. And the idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are they?
We the people.
David, look how seriously he takes the test. Okay. What is an amendment? What is it?
An amendment is a change to laws or an addition to the laws, and sometimes removal of a law. There was the amendment to abolish all drinking, and then they actually another amendment. I think it's like the 23rd to allow drinking. So one of the early amendments were.
You know that one. Okay, well, I'm gonna check all of. Come on, you guys. Let's see if you can answer 2. Those people who live in America. What are the first 10 amendments known as in the Constitution?
The 10 Commandments. No, I'm kidding. Do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to? Is it my answer or somebody else? Bill of Rights.
You can answer. Let's see who answers first.
Bill of Rights.
Oh, darn it.
Mm-hmm.
How many amendments does the Constitution have?
I think 53. I think the 18th proclamation. What is it?
27.
27. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and okay, I'm not going to ask you about the
Emancipation Proclamation. That was
Independence. The
huh?
the Declaration of Independence gave you independence from whom?
You guys. And we've been happy ever since.
Oh no,
We've
you
been
haven't.
whistling Dixie at our
Okay, give me 3 rights in the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, okay. Okay. The freedom of speech, the right to bear arms.
No, what are the 2? Sorry, what are the 3 rights in the Declaration of Independence? Life is one.
And
Liberty,
the Declaration of Independence.
Mhm.
Oh,
life, liberty, and the pursuit of.
happiness. Am
Okay.
I not thinking? Oh, wait, maybe I'm thinking something else.
What is the
Declaration of
economic system in the United States?
What's that?
What is the economic system in the United States?
The economic system. Capitalism.
Okay.
It's not a free ride.
Okay, so give me the branches of government.
There's no such thing.
One of them is Congress.
The branches of government: executive, judicial, and executive, judicial, and investigatory. Is that right?
Congress, legislative,
Legislative.
president,
Isn't that under executive? I think that's executive.
and judicial. I thought the courts and judicial would be the same, but anyway, I just learned something.
Presidential's it's legislative, judicial, and executive. And executive is the president. He is the CEO.
Okay.
Or
What
you can say president.
one branch of government from becoming too powerful?
What's that?
What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful?
The 3 legislative powers: the House and the Congress.
Separation of powers, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Who makes federal laws?
Who makes federal laws? Well, they go through a judicial system in the House of Representatives, which go eventually to the House of Legislative, and then eventually the president has the right to veto the law or the bill, which is not a law yet. But once he doesn't veto the law, it becomes law, and that becomes a federal law against the whole United States. Now, states have their own individual laws. Go ahead. I don't know anything about this. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, but apparently you do know a little bit. How many US senators are there?
How many U.S. senators are there? I'm not sure. 56.
You'll never forget this. 100.
Are there 100?
100 senators. Yep. Some states have 2.
250 House. I really don't. I
How many
don't.
times do you guys select a new senator?
Every 2 years. Oh, senators 6 years?
Every 6 years is a term. 6 years.
Well, you really don't know because they just keep running the incumbents win over and over again.
Mention one of your state senators at the moment. This state senators.
This state
By order.
senators.
We've got 1 minute left.
We got 1 minute left. This state senators. I was gonna say it's. I think it's Dianne Feinstein. And it's not Kevin McCarthy. He's the House of
Okay,
Representatives.
last question. We'll check this out. This is the part. We elect a US representative for every how many years?
A U.S. representative.
Yeah. This is where you got mixed up. This is 2 years.
2 years, right? House
And
of
this-
Representatives.
Isn't that cool that I'm learning the
I
select? And
I
you know,
was thinking that Congress was too, but they're incumbents and there should be term limits, in my opinion.
what I thought was cool about this is I just got the book today, and you know what? I knew most of them, and I was kind of impressed with myself. I couldn't wait, and I'm still learning. But
test
so
me.
many Americans do not know. I will test you. Trust me.
Isn't it amazing that I was born here and I know that stuff?
You are remarkable, though, David. Most people don't know. I got to tell you that.
What?
Yeah, I'm just giving you some words of affirmation. Salute.
Where's
What's
affirmation?
On that note,
Oh, I'm affirmed.
All you do is talk, talk. talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk.
Bye.